books are a big part of my life. That's how I absorb knowledge nowadays. And there's a small tidbit that I want to share with you guys. And so Tommy, as you all know, asked me to come on here. And I want to just introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Yuseff, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I am a single father. I raised my daughter from middle school through college. She's grown. She's out my house now, so my job is done. I think it is. I've been self-employed since 2004. I've sold 2 businesses, and I am a Carlton Sheets baby. So for those, I know there are a couple of us on here. A salute to you guys. That actually helped me get into real estate back in 2003. And I had a cooling off period, but I jumped back into wholesaling in about 2018. So between 2018 and now, I'm told not to call myself just a wholesaler. I am a real estate investor, and I'm still a work in progress. But when Tommy asked me to share some of my experiences, I kind of struggled for a couple of days thinking about what I might want to share here. And, I went through kind of like, okay, am I going to talk about techniques? Am I going to talk about strategy? And what I decided that was most important before those things that I would share is mindset. So this conversation is going to be interactive. I'm going to call on some of you all, if you don't mind, because I want to identify a couple things here. We had a brief conversation before the call started, or the webinar started, and I asked you all how your businesses were doing. And everybody's doing great. Everybody's successful, fortunately. But I'm going to call on some of you all just to get you all engaged in the conversation, because, I want to know you all better, and I want you all to know other people in the group better, as well as myself. So let's get started. All right. So today what we're going to talk about is identifying your why, your reason, your purpose, whatever you call it, your why. And why you need to be great in real estate and not simply average. So these are the 2 things we're going to talk about today. So let me move this over. Sammy, I'm trying to get this little bar down from up at the top here. I can't even hear you.
Just gotta drag it. Yeah, drag it, move it around.
Okay.
You see what I've been doing?
Yeah, I see. Let me exit full screen again and drag this thing over here.
Just go through it right from there.
Okay. All right, cool. You guys can see the whole thing? Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna start out with a question. How many of you all want to eventually want to become full-time real estate investors? And you can put it in the chat. Just put a number 1 in the chat if you have any intentions of making real estate investing your full-time occupation. And I'm going to try to pull the chat up on the side, Tommy.
We got a lot of ones, fam.
We got a lot of ones. All right. So can you handle that for me? Thank you. Okay. So I can't count them, so I'm just going to assume that we've got a lot of ones there. All right. So all right. This is one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn. I read a lot of Jim Rohn. I'll probably get sued for plagiarizing Jim Rohn one day. But Jim Rohn has a saying, and he says, if you have enough reasons, you can accomplish great things. Reasons come first and answers come second. So today we're going to talk about what is your why. Like, why do you want to own a successful real estate business? I'll share my why with you guys. My why is, I want the freedom to go and travel the world with no restraints. I want to build a financial barrier around my family to where lack of money is not an obstacle blocking them from opportunity or quality of life. Now, I don't want to be limited in what type of car I drive, what type of home I live in, or the quality of food or clothing that I can purchase. That's my why. It's very important for us to have that because reason sometimes can direct our purpose. So if I can hear from a couple of you guys, I'd like to know briefly what your whys are, okay? Obi, let's start with you, man. I'm gonna unmute you. Can you unmute him, Tommy?
Yep. Obi, go ahead. So, there you go.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
All right. So my why is kind of similar to yours. Mine is really I want to affect the lives of my kids, and then my sister's kids, my other sister's kids, and then anybody who works with me. I want to affect their families as well. So my legacy, I want to reach outside of myself. When I have a funeral, I want it to be so packed they got to change the location. So
oh wow,
that's my why.
That's your why. Okay. I can't see her name, Tommy. She's below you.
It changes depending on. It's going to change depending on your screen. So my screen doesn't look like yours.
Okay. Can someone?
Man. I mean, if you want to call.
Yeah. If anybody wants to go, just unmute yourself because I can't.
I mean, my name is Jonathan Garcia, and my why is for anything to be successful is always going to be my kids, man, and they should do better, you know.
Okay.
That's pretty much. I have 3 wonderful kids who it just mean the world to me. So just to give them more than anything, I mean, anybody could ever do for them. That's the reason why, you know.
It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Mona. Unmute yourself. Let's hear your why.
Ramona, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? I can't. I'm trying to unmute you there. I don't think Ramona can hear herself.
She can hear us. Okay. All right. So
I am unmuted now.
Oh, there you go.
okay. There you go.
Sorry, that took so long. My why is for independence. Having a boss and being limited by what you can accomplish because someone else tells you that you can't do something.
Wow. Okay.
You know,
Anyone else?
I find having an employer a limitation. When you can see,
I agree with you.
yeah, you can see the forest for the trees, but they can't. So
Exactly. So, are you currently self-employed, Ramona?
on a part-time basis, I'm a full-time professor at a college here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay. Awesome. And so your ultimate goal is become a full-time real estate investor. Is that
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Tommy, you can see the names. Would you do me the honor of calling the name out for me?
Let's go with Dex.
Hey, Yuseff, hey, Tommy.
Hey, what's up there?
Yeah. Hey, my why would be just tired of being broke, man. I've always growed up having this feeling like I can't have the best, or I can't have because of lack of money. And so I had promised my wife and my mom that I'm going to change that one day. And moving on to my daughter generation, my daughter's 5 years old. She wouldn't have that mentality moving forward. So I just want to break that curse upon our family, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if I can dig a little deeper, Dex, if you don't mind. So why is it important for you to break the curse of generational lack, or I don't want to call it poverty, but why is that important to you?
It's well, how should I say it? Okay, for me growing up and feeling that I can't have what I really wanted, I just felt that it really broke my self-esteem in certain areas of my life. You know, like I felt like I could have been much further um, um, if that didn't happen. I don't know if that kind of answer, but yeah, that's the thing, because I'm from the Bahamas. Growing up in the Bahamas, you know, we ain't had it like that. We were poor, you know, until I came to the United States. It was a little different. So, you know, I just always tell myself, man, I'm not gonna live like what we lived when I was a kid. You know? I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Yeah.
Respect, bro. Tommy,
What's up, fam?
what is your why, sir?
Again, man, it's all about legacy. I'm more of a why not person more than a why, but you know, me is about leaving a legacy. My kids already have homes, rental homes, and they need to have more, because one rental home is not good enough. They need to have more. And I just want to leave. I want to leave a legacy that when people say, man, when I'm gone, they say, wow, he spent his time here changing lives. And it sounds corny, but it's the truth. When you do that, the course of your life is spent helping people, and that, man, that's an amazing feeling. Anytime you guys say that you got a deal, and you know, you made some money, it's really, really a good feeling on this end. So yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, well, let's ask you another question though. Why is it important for you to help people?
I think it's a gift. I think anytime that God has blessed us with certain gifts, right? And anytime that you don't use those gifts to the best of your ability, it's almost like a slap in the face, right? It's like you giving your kids the keys to college, right? You're giving them a full scholarship. You're paying for their whole ride, and they just go in there and they just blow it, and they party and they just waste their life, right? Those 4 years. It's very disrespectful, in my opinion. So God has blessed me with a gift to be able to teach. He's blessed me with a gift to, you know, of some decent work ethic. And so if I have that and I don't use it, it's almost like a slap in the face, because some people don't. Some people aren't as blessed as we are. Some people have issues that they can't handle physically, mentally. And so we have those abilities, and if we're not using it to our best of our potential, or our best of our ability, then wasting our time here on this earth.
Wow. Respect, man. We've got some really good answers, you know, and there's no wrong answer here, right? I mean, these are truths. And sometimes us telling people our whys help us to hear ourselves and to understand our own purposes. That's kind of why I wanted to do this exercise. And there's a different exercise where it's called 7 layers deep. You can try this one day if you want to. I've done it with my daughter. And the way it goes is you ask somebody what their why is. And there's a psychological theory that the first answer that we give is the conscious answer. It's the answer that we think of in the front of our brains. But by the time we get to that 7th layer, it becomes more of the subconscious mind that's answering the question. And it gets to the root of our real why sometimes. So this is why I kept asking, like, you know, if you answered your why was to escape poverty, I would ask you, well, why is it important to escape poverty? And then you tell me that answer, then I repeat, like, why is that important to you? And by the time you get to the 7th layer, you'll probably learn some things about yourself. So that's a good exercise, but we're gonna move on. I just enjoyed learning that about you guys. So we're gonna change pace here really quick. And I have a new question. The elephant in the room most of the time. No, so who in here in our group has a goal of becoming a millionaire with their real estate business? Now that could be a combination of things, wholesaling, fixing flips, buying homes, multifamily properties, whatever. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a goal or a plan to become a millionaire with this real estate business that you're building right now. And Tommy, if you could, please, tell me kind of how many ones we have in the chat.
Yeah, we have obviously a lot. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
a lot. Pretty much everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to determine that we were all on that page together. It's my goal as well. And Jim Rohn has a saying. He said that we all should have a goal to become a millionaire, not because of what we get, but because of what it makes us in the process. So it's a very good goal to have. But we're going to talk about kind of the mindset that it's going to take to get us there. So, of course, you mentioned this the other day, Tommy. You asked us whether or not we plan on becoming a millionaire, and then you dropped a bomb on us and told us we're going to be sued. So be prepared for it if we ever become a millionaire. I laughed about that for a couple of days, but to get there, though, in all seriousness, you must be willing to be great at what you do. You must be willing to be great at what you do. So average will not work when you're talking about being amongst the top 1% or great at one particular industry. You must believe that you are great, and sometimes you even must believe that you are better than your competition to succeed. Now, I'm going to play something from a book called The 10 Pillars of Wealth, and I'm hoping you guys can hear it. But I'm going to play it, and I want you guys to pay really close attention. It's not long. It's just the understanding of how we have to think when we're talking about being amongst that top 1%.
I don't know if we can. I don't think we can hear it. I don't know if it's playing.
You can't hear that?
Nope.
Okay. Can't hear it at all, huh?
No.
Okay. Hoping there was a way I could possibly. Let me take my phones off. Play it through my speakers.
In this chapter, to get my point across, I want to talk about a little racing industry you may have heard of.
Can you hear that, Tommy?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. All right, cool.
NASCAR. Now, what I want you to imagine is that you were teleported to another universe where you were an up-and-coming NASCAR driver. You have also magically been given the talents of a top driver. Now, keep imagining the following with me. For some odd reason, the NASCAR sponsors love you. You have the most advanced car, the best pit crew, and your car has illegal additions that make it go 2 miles an hour faster than every other car, which is actually huge when it comes to racing. In real life, illegal additions are not commonplace. But let's imagine that you are so freaking cool that nobody at NASCAR cares. Everything is stacked in your favor, except that you have one problem. You have low self-esteem, and you truly don't think you are going to win, which makes you afraid to drive fast and take the risk. In fact, you think you are pretty average and that you are anything but a winner. You're not even sure why you're in this scenario in the first place. The question I have for you in this scenario is, even with your advantages, do you believe that you will be the one racer to win? With 99 other drivers, that would literally put you in the 1%. Think about it for a second. If there is an opening that is slightly risky, are you going to take it? No, because you think that you are average and don't have faith that you will make it. If it comes to a point in the competition where you are racing neck and neck with 3 other racers, are you going to push yourself harder to beat them or slow down to stay safe? You will likely panic and slow down because you don't believe you have the skills to compete. If you tried to pass them, you might spin out of control, or worse, hit one of the other cars. It's better to stay safe than to deal with the consequences of trying hard, right? Wrong. During the entire race, are you going to take on challenges and make moves that a great racer would take? Nope. You are going to try to go for the smoothest, most consistent route and hope you get lucky enough to win. Does this seem harsh? Are you getting angry with me and thinking, Alex, I'm not that type of person. I do work hard, but I always fail. Well, the harsh truth is that you probably wouldn't need to listen to this book if your fear of failure and desire for comfort weren't holding you back from success. Building your business must be your number one priority in life for you to actually succeed. If it's not your number one priority, that's okay, but you have to accept the fact that it is very unlikely that you will become a multimillionaire. Instead of making excuses all the time, just admit to yourself that family or comfort or being lazy or living a normal life are bigger priorities than becoming wealthy. Back to the story. You can determine just by what I have laid out before that even with all the advantages in the world, you will not succeed if you do not believe you will succeed. If you think you will win the race, you are likely to win it. If you think there is no chance in hell that you will win the race, I can guarantee you that you will not win unless the other 99 cars get struck by lightning at the same exact time. Having the skills and the tools to win won't mean squat unless you believe you are in the top 1%. You have to believe you are elite, and in your heart of hearts, you must think you are better than your competitors. If you don't, you will not make the choices and take the opportunities needed to beat them and win. My questions for you are, do you think you are great? Do you have advantages that others do not have? If you were in a room with 99 other people trying to do what you do, would you be the best, smartest, most competent, most capable person in the room? If your answer is no, or even a hesitant yes, I am sorry, but you are 100% screwed. Statistically, only 1.1% of households are considered millionaires, and way less than 1% of individuals are considered millionaires. By wanting to become wealthy, you are also saying that you want to accept the challenge to be better at making money than 99% of the people on this planet. Just by attempting this, you are going to have to accept the fact that you must not just be good, you must be incredible. If you think differently, then you are done before you even get started. If you are part of the 99% and never change your belief system, all this book will be is amusing, wishful toilet listening.
All right. I just wanted to share that just to kind of outline the mindset that we should have as real estate investors. Now, that was a bit extreme. Can you hear me okay, Tommy?
Yep, you're good.
That was a bit extreme. But as you all remember, when I first got on the call, I asked everyone, how's your business doing? You know, and we all kind of answered sluggishly. But, you know, this is the mindset what we have to be sometimes. We've got to believe the fact that whoever we admire, you know, I look up to a lot of guys in the industry. I know they're a little ahead of me or a lot ahead of me, but I do believe I can be right there where they are. And I have to believe that way for me to succeed and go to the next level. So here's a disclaimer, you know, thinking that you are great is important, but thinking that you are great and having skills alone will not automatically make you successful, obviously, right? So let's put some things into perspective. Desiring to become wealthy means that you are aiming to be anything but average. So what it means is you are actually working toward being better at making money than almost every other being on the planet. You're looking to be in the top 1%, and that's okay. But when I asked, are you guys looking to become millionaires? Like I am, like Tommy is, I'm sure if he's not already that. You know, what we're saying is, you know, we're looking to be in the top 1% of money makers in the world. And there's no room for people that do not believe in themselves. So we have to figure out a way to not only believe in our craft and get good at our craft, get great at our crafts, but believe in ourselves. You cannot sneak into the 1% with skills or ideals alone. All right, so let's talk about a little secret sauce. All right, we must be able to believe and apply a greatness mindset. Now, this is something I've been practicing here lately. I'm not an expert at doing these presentations, but I wanted to share something that I've been practicing here a lot in my own businesses, just to push myself to the next level, to relieve myself of any type of excuses that may come up when I don't want to do certain things in the business, or I tell myself I'm not as good as some of the other people in this industry. But how do we do that? Any of you all that know anything about Kanye, you'll get this joke. Just thought I'd throw it up there for some laughs. But how do we do that? How do we get the greatness mindset and put it into application? So one way to do this in the condensed summary type version is you must believe, act, and make decisions as if you are already great. Here's a major key, and please steal this idea. It's not original to me, but when you think about the actions you would take if you were already successful, the way it is applied, the way I've been applying it is, when you run into a challenge in your business, ask yourself, if I were a freak of nature, genius, real estate investor, business master, capable of anything in the world, how would I handle this situation? So the way this is applicable is, I use this technique to eliminate excuses. So the way I think it's applicable is, I run across people and I talk to people, and we may have a discussion about RVN, or cold calling, or direct mailing. And you run into a lot of excuses of, well, I'm not really good at cold calling. I've said it myself. I don't really have a budget to direct mail. But when you ask yourself the question, well, what would somebody like Sean Terry do in a situation like this? Like, what would Max do? What would Tommy do? If there were houses everywhere, abandoned houses everywhere, I was having no success at getting any deals, what would they do? Would they just sit back and take lack of skills of skip tracing, or lack of skills at direct calling, or cold calling, or direct mailing? Would they just take that as an excuse, or would they learn that particular skill? And once you have that answer, it kind of removes the excuse. So all that's left at that point is, it's now a matter of deciding whether or not you're willing to do what you know that someone super successful would do in the same situation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So once you ask yourself that question, again, it's either whether, am I willing to do that, or am I not willing to do that to be successful? So basically, that was my conversation for today. And I just wanted to bring up some of that mindset stuff. I've been really thinking about, some of the things that have been slowing me down in my business. And this has been a really good week for me, because I've applied this technique. And next week, I'm going to apply it even more. So those things that have become roadblocks for me in my business, again, once I run up against it, I always ask myself a question, well, what would this person do? What would that person do? And I remove myself from the equation. Do we have any questions, any comments? Anybody want to just kind of share a technique they're using in their business, a process they're using to the next level?
I definitely want to hop in real quick. So you said that you had a really good week. What were some of the things that happened this week that was very good for your business? Yeah, so I had to deal with a couple of challenges this week. And when I say good things, it's not always that I got a closing, or I've closed, or I've made money. Absolutely. Sometimes I've come up with a strategy to deal with possibly a roadblock that I may have to face down the road. And so here's the thing. I was helping a guy out on the deal, and Max actually mentioned the deal when he was on the call last time. He said, oh, that deal I saw when you posted that deal on Facebook Live, that's a better short sale deal. So anyway, I heard him in the back of my mind, and I logged it in, and I said, well, let me just try it. He said it, let me try it. So I actually called the guy, and the property was priced a little high, and I asked him, hey, are you open to a short sale deal if we can't get this sold another way? And he said yes. So
there's a technique I tried, you know, and I was nervous about asking him because I thought it could possibly kill the deal. I thought he was going to say, hey, man, you know, Ali, you told me you guys were going to do this, you cash buyers. But, you know, again, I asked myself the question, and, you know, that's the answer I got. And so I just applied it without even thinking. Yeah.
So let's look at this. Let's see if there's any other ways of doing that deal, because you got to be careful. Once again, short selling, wholesales, and
Right.
If you can put it back on so we can see everybody here.
Okay. You want to take back over the screen?
Just stop sharing it. There should be a button towards the top, or I think on mine.
Okay. There you go.
Perfect. I like to be able to see everybody's beautiful faces.
Yeah.
So, Ramona, you silly. So what are some other ways? Let's put our heads together here, because I think when we're looking at real estate investing, a lot of times we go through looking at it almost through like a telescope. So we're like this, right? And sometimes we need to open up our viewpoints, take the blinders off to see if there's any other ways that we can get this same deal done. I don't know, because I don't know the you know, ins and outs of this deal. So if you don't mind sharing, why the short sell route versus like a subject to route?
Okay, so here's the situation. And I don't mind sharing it in the group, of course. So a friend of mine who I have JB with before comes to me and he brings this deal. So this particular house is a big house. It's got 2 garages. It's got 2 kitchens. It's got an upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs is completely finished. It's just a dated house. It's going to need a lot of work. Square footage wise, it's going to cost a lot of money for someone to go in and rehab it because it's so big. Yeah. Now, it's a brick ranch. It's got 3 bathrooms, nice yard, but it is going to require a lot of work, which means it's going to take a unique buyer to get in and do it. Now, it doesn't meet the typical wholesale formula, if you will, the 70%. It will not fall in that range. So the guy lives out of town. He's very motivated to sell. And like I said, I kind of got in on the tail end of the deal that my friend brought to me to help him out because he works all day. And so I said, yeah, I'll try to do what I can do. And at first we did have it listed. I was going to do a lease option with it. I was going to make my profit on the front, you know, get the down payment, pay him. I gave him 3 options that we could purchase it with. And he was open to all 3, a 1-year lease option, a 2-year lease option, or a 3-year lease option. And he was open to all 3 options, of course. And then, you know, I kind of spent my weekend just kind of, I put it on Facebook Marketplace. And of course, you know how that goes, man. You're going to get a flood of people. And you're going to have to kind of weed through the people. And it's going to be very time consuming. And they're going to show up and with vouchers and all kind of stuff, just wanting the straight rent, you know. And it was just like, okay, maybe this is not the most efficient use of my time because I've got other deals that I'm working on, right? And I remember what you guys said, don't spend all your time on one deal. And this started to get time intensive.
Yeah,
so
what's the numbers on it though? What's the numbers?
So the numbers are, it's like, so he owes, he just wanted to pay off 112 on the property.
All right, so he wants to pay off of 112. So he's not
Yes.
looking, you guys can see my screen, right? So you guys can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, definitely.
Yeah,
Carla, you can't? You can?
I can.
Thank you.
Yes.
So 112, we gotta pay off of 112.
Okay.
And then what's the
ARV?
ARV on it?
The ARV is probably around, it's around 170, probably around up to 190. And like I said, this house is so unique that it's like the biggest house over there. There are no other houses like with that kind of layout, you know, 2 garages, 2. So I had to just kind of use
So 190. 190.
Yeah.
So we're seeing already that not a good wholesale deal, like you said, right? And
Right.
we have a lot of work to do, I'm assuming, right? How much is the work that we need to do?
I'm assuming about anywhere from a really good HGTV type rehab is going to be probably about 60,000. I mean, it's livable, but it's dated.
60K on the rehab.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what I'm thinking, so for a wholesale deal, number one, I I don't wholesale. I would not wholesale a subject to. I'm sorry, not subject to a
Short sale.
short sale. Yeah,
Okay. Right.
because you definitely can get arrested for that.
Yeah.
Right? So, but your lease option. Here's what I want you guys to understand. What the trick to do this with lease options is to find your buyers before you find your house. So with lease options, what you want to do is you want to start posting signs saying lease option, rent to own, however you want to phrase it, put it on marketplace, that's free. Or if you want to do bandit signs, put it in that area. And what's going to happen is that people are going to start to call you, and then you're going to start to build up a lease option buyers list. Okay. So I'm looking at the numbers right away. Right now, obviously 112 plus closing costs and a $60,000, you're almost at 190. And so there's really no profit there even for a subject two at that price point. I like subject twos that have low rehab costs. So if it's livable, like you said it is, to me, I'm thinking lease option all the way, but you just need to have those buyers in place. So it's going to sound like this. You're going to put advertisements out there. You're going to have people that are going to call you. And here's the thing, you do this even if you don't have a house, okay? Because they're going to call you and say, hey, I saw you sign for a lease option. What you got? You'd be like, hey, man, I'm sorry, man. The last one just fell through, or we don't have anything in our inventory right now. We go pretty quickly. As soon as we get one, I'll let you know. Give me your, I got your phone number. Give me all your information, your email. We'll send you over the photos and everything else. At that point, you start the qualification process with them. At that point, not once you have a property. At that point, while you have their attention, you're going to call them up. You're going to be on the phone with them and say, hey, this is how our program works. You're going to need about 10 to 15%. I would like to go on the high end and tell them 15% so that they can expect 15%, but hit them with 10, right? If they have 15%, cool. But you can always go down on people. That doesn't sound right. You can always go down on price, but you can't go up, right? All right. So you can always, if the house is going to cost them $100,000 and you say, hey, it's going to be like 15%. And they're working to get to that 15%. They're thinking, all right, I might have to come out of pocket 15 grand. And then you say, oh, for this particular property, we're trying to move this one. We'll do only a 12% down payment. Well, guess what? They're ecstatic, right? So you start to set their expectations of what they're going to need to bring to the table ahead of time. And then you qualify them through that process. See if they actually have that money. We're going to need you to have your either a W-2 or your last pay stubs on deck, ready to go, because these properties move quickly. So you're keying them in to move fast once you do have a property. So when you do have something like this, you have their documentation already. You have their W-2s. You've already qualified them, and they're ready to go. They have the money, or they're very close to having the money. At this point, just presenting it to them. But you want to have like 20, 30 of those people ready to go. Okay. Yeah. But I would definitely lean more towards a lease option if you already have some people. If not, start creating that process right now.
Yeah. So what happened with that was I did have some people lined up based on some other properties that I had and I kept. But they were, of course, not that big. They wanted like 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom houses, certain price ranges. I know that they didn't want anything. They wanted something $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 range. This thing is much bigger and much more expensive than they probably wanted. So, like I said, I was trying to help the guy. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am with it. And so let me tell you what I was thinking on the short sale. Now, there's a technique I heard about. Now, I was going to run this by someone about using a flippable LLC. So I know you know where I'm going with this. So technically, if the LLC has the short sale under contract, I don't short sell the actual property or the contract. Yeah. I just use an assignable LLC and just give the LLC to someone else as opposed to the actual contract. How do you feel about that?
I mean, the LLC they're gonna be able to trace that LLC back to somebody. I mean, for me, it's not worth it.
Okay. Right.
For me personally, it's just not worth that process. I think use it. If anything, I mean, you could try it, but like I said, it's something that I don't like to mess with. I don't like to mess with jail time. Like any house is not worth it.
But
Right?
see, I didn't know whether or not, that was illegal or not, being that if a business owns a contract, right? I mean, I've sold a business before, but I was thinking once you sell the business, the assets go along with the business. Like if you have anything under contract, somebody else comes in, buys your business, don't they get the assets? I don't know. Like, I don't know how that works or if it's legitimate.
The common misconception is that business, all right, the owner of, if you guys remember when Enron, right? All that happened, right? He was a business, right?
Exactly.
He still went to jail, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Right. Just because that business is only, you got to understand, having a business is for to protect you against lawsuits and asset protection, not your other assets going to jail, right? So it's that's what it's designed for. I would use this honestly. I probably would use this as marketing to increase. The reason why you didn't get the short sale, or I'm sorry, the reason why you didn't get the lease option is because you didn't have enough people on your buyers list, on your lease options buyers list. If you have 40, 50 people on your lease options buyers list, somebody on that buyers list is looking for a home like that.
Okay, got it.
But like I said, I mean, I would just be cautious with it. That's all I'm saying. Because I hate to look on the screen here on one Sunday and don't see you.
Fans be coming up in my house. Huh?
You live from up north. All right. Well, let's open this up. Let's open this up for some Q&A. I want to get some Q&A going in here. Number one, appreciate your time you put a whole presentation together. Thank you. I know that took some time. And I definitely appreciate you doing that for us. Who has some questions here about deals or anything else that we can address right now?
I got a question.
All right, Ollie, what's up?
All right, so I recently did some driving for dollars and ran into a mobile home park. And in running into the mobile home park, I see a bunch of the mobile homes are busted, beat up, abandoned, that kind of thing. So I called a couple of people I know from the local REIA. Actually, the REIA I set up with another one of my partners, and we sat down, and one of them's interested in it. But so tomorrow I'm going to go to the business that owns them to talk to them about it. But I'm not quite sure what the difference is between selling a home and selling a mobile home, particularly in Kentucky, because I don't think Kentucky's laws cover it like it's a vehicle. I think they treat it like a home, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the structure is different, the plumbing and all that great stuff is different. So outside of knowing the supplies from going to Lowe's and whatever else, that's about all I know. So I'm kind of nervous, kind of swinging out, just swinging blind right now at that one.
So right now, the mobile home is completely empty, and it's just a piece of land. Is that what it is? That's it. So the guy, I know the business owns the land, but I've seen the owners. I've seen each one of the owners as I go through the neighborhood. They're kind of sitting out, hanging out, that kind of thing with family. I just want to make sure I'm understanding what I'm thinking about. Are we talking about just one single mobile home, or are we talking about like a mobile home park? So I've seen the park. I see the park, but there's each individual home, and each individual home, from what I understand, is owned by the person who owns that property, but he or she pays that lot fee. So they own the mobile home, but they're paying a lot fee. For the ones that I'm looking at that are abandoned, I went through PropStream to kind of look at and see if I see see if I can see who owns it, and it only has the business's name as opposed to a person's name. So I'm not sure if it's really a person owns all of them, or they only own the ones that are abandoned. Okay, so, oh my goodness. Sorry, my son is constantly FaceTiming me. Zion, you see all that? You're on the coaching call right now. Can you stop FaceTiming me? I'll call you back, man. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, bye.
Sorry.
It's all right. I had to do it because he would have just kept on calling. He wouldn't have stopped. He don't care.
He's got persistence. That's a good thing.
All right, so mobile homes. I've only done one, just because here the profit margin was just small. So my experience is just that they do not own the land. They don't own the land at all. the lot, the whole park owns each individual lot. So it makes it a little bit difficult unless you already have a buyer that's ready to move into that particular property, because what they're actually purchasing is just that trailer on wheels, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So what are you the point of this is for you to wholesale this property, or are you trying to buy it as an investment so that you can put renters in there and or tenants in there?
So the idea is to wholesale it. Only reason is the guy from the REIA said, hey, and he was just talking to us in general conversation, said, hey, I got a buddy who, what he does is he buys mobile homes, he fixes them up, he lets people stay in them, rents them out. Like he does like a lease option. So he does a lease, lease it to own. And then what normally happens is they bail out, they leave the house anyway. He just fixes it up and does the same thing again. So he never actually purchases the lot itself. He only purchased the mobile home on the lot.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just rehabs it, how many $1,000s he puts into it, and just does that over and over and over again.
Yeah, so this makes it a very simple question. I mean, a simple answer. So I think you're overthinking this thing, right?
Yeah.
So at this particular point, it's just a math problem. It's how much are the rents?
No.
How much are the rents for that
Oh,
particular?
okay.
Hold up, Carlos. There we go. How much are the rents for that particular area?
Okay.
How much is it going to cost to repair that place? And then how much is the lot fee? Right. So those are the three things. Do you know those? Do you know that information? We can figure this out right now.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I tried to figure that out and I couldn't.
So what you're going to need to know is how much the repair costs.
Okay.
How much is the lot fee?
Okay.
Okay. And how much are the rents?
Okay.
Once you know that, you kind of can figure all that out on what we're looking at as far as return on investment for that end investor.
Okay.
What I would do is I would go to that end investor and I would qualify him. What do you typically get return on investment wise? Excuse me. Right. Oh, and obviously the cost of the trailer.
Right.
But what do you get on return on investments wise? And if he says, hey, I normally get 12% on these, or if I get 16% or whatever he says, it says, hey, if I can find something for you like that, that fits into that box, are you prepared to purchase it? And find out what his or her criteria is.
Okay. Then
it's nothing more than just the exact same thing. Nothing else changes after that. Don't think that, because this is a trailer that it's any different.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so how much does it cost for the actual trailer, repair cost, lot fee, and then what the rents are.
Right.
And you put all that together just to use from the stuff in the course and figure out the ROI on it.
Too easy.
Perfect. All right, man. I'm gonna go just in order of people that raised their hand. I saw Matt. You're up next.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
What's up, bro?
Okay, so I got two questions for you. The first question is probably easy. How do I go about finding owners of like corporations that own property or stuff like that? Like, where do I go to find that information, to find out the owners and people to contact that essentially corporation owns the property?
So Secretary of State, right?
Okay.
Let's see if we can do this live here. I know you're in a different state, so I'm not familiar with yours.
So I'm actually working now in the New Jersey market.
Okay. Slide this out of the way. All right, so let's see. I've never looked in New Jersey, but we're going. Why is this not working here? What's your other question while we try to pull this up?
So I just picked up my like real estate license. So I just wanted to find out if there's anything I should be concerned about with trying to wholesale while having a real estate license with a specific brokerage.
Yes. Yes. So as a real estate license on my contracts that you're using, we have at the bottom it says something about that you're not representing them as a real estate agent, something to that effect. Have you been on Secretary of State before here in New Jersey?
This one, no, I haven't actually. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, most of the leads I've been getting that I have found that, driving for dollars, that I found out were owned by his company. I just haven't really, I kind of haven't really been filtering it out and looking
I'm just
into
going to do it with Georgia, since I know that is, you just have to spend some time on there clicking through it to find out where do you look for.
Okay, but that's the website. I just have to find it on there, right? Just got to do some digging on that one.
Correct. And all you're going to do is you're going to go here and you're going to look for a business. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a company I can think of right now. Well, coffee. Let's see if I can pull this up. I don't know. So yeah, here we are. So there's a little coffee spot that I like to go to, right?
Okay.
When on the Secretary of State, you just need to know their name, right? Go to the Secretary of State, type in pretty much all Secretary of States, all websites have something. You just got to search through it to find it. I just know how to do it here in Georgia because this is what I do.
Yep.
So here you got your business information. You have your registered agent information. A registered agent information is whoever, I can't say that name, but Jennifer Elizabeth Holt. Hold up. That's my cousin. I might be getting some free coffees. So this is who they are. This is the physical address. This is where the actual coffee spot is at, but apparently this is probably their house address right here. Okay. Now, a lot of times with corporations, especially if they're real estate investors, they will have another corporation, the registered agent. Okay. And it's just a rabbit hole. All you got to do is look for that one. And eventually someone has to be a real registered agent. Okay. So you're just going to say, okay, what's that one? It might be in a different state. Who knows? Right. But then you got to go to that Secretary of State and look for that one. Okay. But eventually you'll find a list of people that are there. Let's look under filing history. We look under business formation. You can also see here, might give you some information on who set up the business, right? So there's so many different places you can go here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So many different places you can go. I mean, this one's pretty easy, right? Because it's just giving us exactly who it is. But some of them you have to dig a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But there's so much. There's like a plethora. I've been waiting to use that word all day, so I'm gonna use it right now. It's a plethora of information on the web, really, right? You don't really have to do too much. It's really simple. So go there, look for that, and then just keep digging until you find a person, and then you just skip trace that individual.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Cool. No problem, brother. All right. Next person I thought was Gene, I believe. I could be wrong, but.
What's up, Tommy?
What's up?
All right. So I'm doing a bunch of driving for dollars. So I have a plethora of addresses, right? So I've been using, I can't even think of the name. But my question is really, what would be a good skip tracing to use? Because the one I used had limited success with it. We're able to find some stuff, some people, but I'm not really finding, out of, say, if I have 200 addresses, maybe I find 40 people.
So what skip trace service are you using?
Oh, I think it's called, man, I'm having a brain block right now. Thinkfinders? No, something Finders. Shoot, I'm sorry. I can't think of the name of it. Something Finders.
People Finder.
Truth Finders. Truth Finders. That's what it is. Truth Finders.
Okay. Truth Finders?
Yeah, Truth Finders.
Okay. I've never heard of Truth Finders, but what I would suggest, you have how many properties do you have that you can put into a batch skip tracing file?
Shoot, probably 200. Like I said. Now, remember when Max had a deal, maybe this was about a month or two ago, he had, he was doing the 10-day or the 30-day, he had the 30-day, he had the 30-day service that he had going on where, you drive for the hour today, and he had where you could send him a bunch of numbers. So I sent him, I think he was giving you 75, 100, or whatever it was for $5 or whatever it was for that little deal he had going on. When I sent him whatever it was, a 75, 100, I got back maybe, even with whatever he was using, I got back maybe 25. And the out of those 25, they were either the numbers were disconnected, or I really wasn't able to get. But maybe out of that 25, I think I got to talk to maybe 12 people or something like that. It was a low number.
Okay, so out of 75, you got 25. So basically, like 33% of your houses. So to me, when I do batch skip tracing, it's pretty much all I do. I use REI Skip, which is his service, and my ratio comes back a lot higher than it. It's like about 60-65%.
Okay. REI Skip. Okay.
I would look at how you're formatting it. Real quick, I'll share my screen again. I would like kind of question like your format, because they did change the format. Am I tripping right now? Okay, here it is. They did change the format of how you are supposed to submit your deals, right? So go here, click on this, that big thing. It says click here, see sample CSV file.
Correct. I did that.
Did that.
I followed along for the. I mean, I followed along with the format. I'm pretty good with Excel.
Okay.
But
you did just like this. Did you send middle initials or middle names? Because that's a common thing. Sometimes.
No. Well, because when I do the because what I do is I go out and I find the addresses. So I look up the addresses and find the people's names. Right. I use the service so I could go out to get all that information. But then I gave it to them. So a lot of times you don't get middle names. You might get a middle initial sometimes, but you don't always get that.
Yeah, I'm just saying because I've seen it on his end. I've seen it where like people will send, like it'll be Waylon, and then maybe they have a middle initial B, right? And they'll send that not coming back. I promise you, if you do that, it's not coming back. So that's a very common thing, because there's, even though it just says last name, first name, people kind of just take the column and then they just rearrange it, and they forget to erase a middle initial or a middle name. And if you do, it won't come out. I'm not saying that's what you did. I would just say come back and check that, because I just know my personal experience with it has been pretty decent. But you can do there's other skip tracing services out there. If you don't want to, I mean, I have a really good 60-65% for me is good enough with them, because I'm sending 2,000, 3,000 leads to get skipped. So
yeah, I ain't doing that much.
60% of that is a decent number, right?
Got it. Okay.
You will do that number. It's just it's
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that number. I'm just not doing it today, but yes, I'm definitely gonna do that number.
Cool.
All right, I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Denard, I saw you next, and then I saw someone else's hand pop up. Alyssa, you are after Denard. What's up, Denard?
What's going on, Tony? I got a few questions. When you cold calling, I know on the module it say that you're supposed to know your ARV before you call each property or each owner. Well, I was saying, like, I got like right now at the moment I got probably like 300 properties that I skip tracing things, and I was saying, do I need to know the ARV for all of them, or do I?
No. All right. Yeah, let me clarify this, because you'll be there forever. You'll never get through all those things, man. So what you need to do, brother, is go ahead and start making calls, because a lot of those are going to be no's. So there's no point in you going through all of this work, right? You want to have like a general idea of what, and you will do this. You'll kind of get an idea of how much they should be at. But the conversation is going to sound like this. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, my name is Tommy Holt. I'm a local real estate investor. And we had a team that was in and out of the area, came across your property on 123 Main Street. And man, I really, really love that property. And, I'm a local real estate investor. It's my job to kind of just do a basic little search on it and see who the owner is, and, reach out to them. Everything's public record nowadays. And, see what they're looking to do with it. So you have a quick moment to chat. They'll say yes. After that, you say, hey, the property on Main Street, what are you looking to do with that? You shut up and you let them talk, right? And let's say they get to the point where they're ready to sell, or they want to sell, they're interested in hearing your offer. And then we're going to go ahead and set that appointment. And if they ask, well, how much are you going to offer me? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I really can't give you an honest answer yet because I haven't seen the property. I don't know the condition of the property. You know, just like you're going to go buy a car, you at least want to test drive the car, right? That's kind of like the same thing with houses. I'm quite sure when you purchased the house, you went and saw it first before you decided how much you would pay for it. So that's all I'm asking. Just, you know, really informal that I'll just come by and get a chance to take a look at it. What day works better for you? Saturday or Friday at 3, or, you know, Sunday at 10 a.m. Right? Because you want to get into the property. You want to go onto that appointment. You want to gauge whether or not they're even willing to sell before you spend a couple of, you know, 10, 20 minutes on doing an ARV. And in the beginning, I don't know if you're like me, maybe you're smarter, you're probably a lot smarter than me, but in the beginning, man, it took me a long time to find ARVs. Like I was doing the most. I was, you know, just crazy. It was taking me like 30, 45 minutes to find one ARV. So if you got 300 properties, you're going to be there all day. By the time you get to it, someone already scooped that deal up.
Right. I just misunderstood. I went over like your appointment setting on and stuff. I got all that written down. I guess I just misunderstood that part.
No, it's cool. It's cool. But and also like it also is going to depend on your strategy, right? So if you're going off of this is a good point. If you're very specific on who you are trying to target, and your goal is only to target a small list of people, then it might do you good to already have that information. Okay, so here I'll tell you where that comes into play. If you're looking for probate deals in a high value area where your wholesale deal is like 20,000 or more, okay, you're not going to have 300 probate deals all at one time. You're probably going to be working with 10, 15, maybe 20 at a time. So maybe then, because the stakes are a little bit higher, maybe you want to be a little bit extra prepared. But when we're going through, numbers, like you're doing 300 like houses, you need to be efficient, right? You need to get through that list. If I get a list and it has 2,000 people on it, there's no way I can do 2,000 ARVs before even knowing whether or not they want to sell.
Okay.
It's just the strategy is a little bit different. One's a shotgun approach and one's a sniper approach. One is just shooting out there and seeing what's the low hanging fruit. What can I knock down really easy? And the other one is a very targeted one. So you have to choose which one you want to do. But if you're doing 300 at a time, I would not suggest that you spend, that's going to take you a little while to do 300 ARVs. I would not suggest you do that.
Okay, I understand. And the other question was, it's pertaining to ARVs too, but it's okay, say I find a house on Instagram and I ran across a couple of realtors that told me, they gave me information, they told me I can call them to get exact ARVs or the best ARVs as possible and the best comps. I was trying to see, do I need to get the house on the contract first, like take my ARVs and get the house on the contract and then call them? Because how you go about not, so they won't like, so they work under somebody who buy a house. How you go by not like giving them your product, but not getting them, like they don't steal your property. You get what I'm saying?
Contract. So
yeah.
If you're looking to work with a real estate agent, real estate agents have higher ethical, that's the wrong way of saying it. They are held to a higher standard than a wholesaler, right? We should all be ethical and moral, right? No matter what's going on. But they can actually go to jail, right? For certain things. They could get fined for certain things, right? As a wholesaler, worst things that really happen is that you're going to get, a bad reputation, right? So what I would do with that is, number one, have a very, very good understanding of what each person's role entails. Okay, what you're responsible for, what they're responsible for. Let them know straight up, listen, I'm wholesaling this. I will bring some of these deals to you as a trial run to see if you can produce on your end. What I'm looking for you to do is to produce a investor, a cash buyer or hard money buyer, not an FHA, not a traditional going through Bank of America homeowner. We're not doing that. We're not tying up properties for greater than 30 days. These people need to be able to close within 7 to 10 days. I give them a little bit lower standard. So if it goes out to 14, I'm cool with that. Okay. And then very, very important, you need to have this conversation with them up front. All right. Listen, I am not paying you a dime. Your money is from your buyer. They need to understand that when you get your $15,000 wholesale check, it ain't no 50-50. They get paid by them, right? They get paid their 3% that they can add on to it, whatever they negotiate with their seller, with their buyer, okay? Because I've had real estate agents try to do that. They say, oh, well, part of that's my commission. No, read that contract, my man. That contract says that money's mine, okay? So make sure you have that conversation with them up front, and then see if they still want to deal with you. They might not want to do it anymore after that, because they're saying they're looking for a handout. They're looking for someone to do all the work and then just, give them some money.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
No problem.
My son named Zion too.
Oh, that's a beautiful name, brother. Beautiful name, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right, now.
All right. First of all, I think I saw somewhere it popped up. I think it was Carla. Let me make sure. Carla said today is her birthday. Happy 21st birthday, Carla. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
All right, what are you going to do on your 21st birthday? Going out to the club?
Well, I'm going out to eat. I'm being taken out to dinner in a little bit.
Okay. Oh, I'm being taken out to dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm being treated.
Turn up.
Yes.
Time. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a blessed one. Thank you so much for being here on your birthday. That's dedication. God bless you for sure.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Alyssa, I'm gonna unmute you, or try to at least lower your hand there. You're on. What's good?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I'm in my car. I hope that you can hear me clearly.
Yes. First of all, this is Alyssa's first time on the call, along with Antronique. We're gonna get you as well. So everybody, welcome them on the call. And I think not Matt, that was just talking. There's another Matt that was on the call, first time on the call. So welcome, guys. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I live in Georgia, but I'm currently in the Florida Panhandle, and I decided to start doing some wholesaling in the last month or so, and picked up actually through Craigslist postings. Craigslist postings. I received a couple of sellers requests for, they're motivated sellers. They want to sell their property. I dwindled that down to one because the other one I found out was really a daisy chain. So the one seller that I have who is motivated, they're trying to get out of the Panhandle by the middle of September, no later than October, for an ailing relative. Their property is located about 30, maybe 20 miles north of Panama City, and it's on almost 2.5 acres of land. It's about 2,300 square feet of space. The ARV on this property is about 261. So at 0.7%, we're looking at about $182,000. It's immaculate. The property is in excellent condition. They just put a new roof on because they had a little roof damage from the hurricane. So they spent $14,000 on the roof.
Hold on, because I want to, because Alyssa, don't take this personal, right? But when investors are buying, the only thing they care about is the numbers, right?
Okay.
So let's find this, because I heard you say some numbers. I wasn't prepared to write it down. So first of all, what is the ARV?
The ARV on this property is 261.
And this is in Florida. This property's in Florida.
Yeah.
261. Okay.
261, and I think it's about $182,000 is the MAO. Well, and the reason why I said that's the maximum allowable offer is because, and I didn't include my fee. So let me step back a second. The house needs no repairs. It needs nothing.
hold on. I'm skeptical on this. When was this house bought?
They bought the house 13 years ago. They took out an equity line of credit and they did some updates to it, about $75,000 worth of updates.
When?
That was about 5 years ago.
Okay. So when at 261, there is no, if that's top of the market, that's real ARV. You guys pay attention to this. This is very important, okay? Are you buying a 5-year-old car for the same price as a 2019? Are you buying a 2014 car for the same price as a 2019 car? No, no one is, right?
Yeah.
So even though they spent 75, and this is why I say numbers, all I care about is numbers, right?
Right.
So even though they spent $75,000, they spent $75,000 5 years ago. There is pretty much no house at ARV value where we're talking about HGTV 2019 standard, where we can compare a house that's renovated 5 years ago to a house that's renovated this year and get the same price. Now it might be close, but we can't realistically get the same price for the same type of house. Does that make sense? So it's inside. It looks, I'm assuming it looks, you said it looks immaculate.
Yeah.
Let's look at what these numbers are. So 261, I'm just doing this on here on my calculator here. So I know you can't, I know you're driving, so you can't see. So we're already not right. So let's do this right. Okay, so 261, we need to take out 30%, right? 30% is profit. So we do that by 261 times 0.7, which represents 70% of this deal. Well, that right there is $182. I'm sorry, 182,000.
Right.
700.
Right.
So that's not MAO.
Okay.
That's all in. So that means the investor that purchases their property from you, that's their all-in price. All right. So if we get this thing under contract for $182,700 as a wholesale deal, you probably are going to have trouble selling it because they still have to put, even though the house looks good, there's always going to be nicks and, little, markers on the wall, and there's going to be parts on the floor where it might be a little warm. They're going to have to do some type of touch up. Plus, they're going to have to close on a $182,000 property. So it's eating into this 30%. And so how investors are looking at this, they're looking at this as, where's the best use of my money? So if I'm going to spend $182,000 on a property, I want to get 30%, or I just keep my $182,000 until I find a property that I can make 30%. Make sense? So our MAO can't be 182 because that's the all in. So what do you want to make on a wholesale deal?
It can, honestly, I always try to look at it as problem solving up front. And I know, 5,000, 2,500, 10,000. I would be cool with a $2,500 to a $5,000 fee.
I am not mad at that. Okay, so listen. So this is what we got to do here. We got our all-in price. We're gonna have to subtract at least something. How big is the home? How many square feet?
It's 2,300 square feet.
2,300 square feet. So we're gonna do paint, maybe some light updating. We're gonna spend, I would probably say somewhere around 10 grand on a to be conservative. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna put about $10,000 into updating it. This is gonna be repairs. Okay. So and then we need to subtract your fee of $2,500.
Okay.
I would probably go for at least 5, but we're cool with 2,500. Right. So at this point, we're at minus 10,000, minus 2,500. Your MAO is 170 200.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what you need to get it under contract for. If all this is true, right? If the repair cost is 10 and you want to make your fee of 2,500, and if that's all true, then we can get it under contract for 170, 200, and then that deal should work, because that'll put the investor all in at 182, and they're gonna say, man, that's a 30% profit in Florida. I want that deal.
Okay. So the second part of that is, I've already, established a decent, rapport with the seller. I have not put that offer into an assignable contract yet because I am having an issue finding a performing buyer.
Okay.
That's
so,
what I am right now.
All right. That's easy though. So this is a very common thing, right? So we're where we don't take one step because we're thinking about the next step. The first thing you need to do is no point in you finding a buyer if you don't have a property, right? So find the property at a good price. I promise you, buyers will be beating down your door. If you find a property at a good price, you won't have to look too hard for a buyer. Finding a buyer is easy, all right? You can go on Zillow and use some of the free strategies that we provide from Zillow to find a buyer. You could get on ListSource. You get on ListSource right now, we could probably find 20, 30 buyers that have bought within the last 12 months in that area in a course of about 10 minutes. Finding a buyer is not difficult. You got to find the deal. Find the deal first. The buyers will come.
Okay. Well, I already sent this to 2 buyers because I went to a RIA, with the Panhandle, we're in rebuild mode, so to speak, because of the devastation of Hurricane Michael. And right now, Panama City is a very, very hot market, and everybody's trying to buy in Panama City. That doesn't mean that I can't, that there's a scarcity. This is not a scarcity mindset thing. It's just, I noticed this when I was talking to the buyers at the RIA in Panama City, that although the numbers do speak, if the numbers are right, then it's a deal. I've already sent this to 2 of the buyers that I found in Panama City, and perhaps I will send this with an updated amount, the 170, 200, and see if they bite on that.
No. There's a misunderstanding there. When you are sending out your properties, this is very good because I had a friend of mine. I love him for his effort, but this is what he did, right? He's about to do exactly what you did. You just said. You don't send out 170, 200. You got to send it out for 170, 200 plus your 2,500. So it's going to be 172.7, right? That's what
I thought that 2,500 was already included in that amount, and that was my MOA.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. MOA is not. Maximum allowable offer is is the maximum amount that you can offer the seller.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's what the seller is going to either receive if the house is completely paid off with no liens, or that's what's going towards the seller and whatever is left over for portion off of paying off of their mortgage, whatever, right? But that's so we have to be really clear on our terminology when we're talking to investors, so they're going to know that we don't know what we're talking about, right? So if we're, and I'm just being honest because it's happened to me. Like in the beginning, I didn't know what I was talking about and I got taken advantage of, right? So our maximum allowable offer, you're not even going to talk about that with your buyers. That has nothing to do with them. You're going to tell them, hey, actually what you really want to do, if we're trying to get this, guys, if we're trying to get to 170, 200, who's here starting at 170, 200 talking to the seller? Nobody, right? We shouldn't, because we know everybody wants to bargain, right? So if this is me, I'm going to this seller and I'm saying, oh man, I think the best I could probably do for you right now is about 163.7 based off of what I saw. So I'll give them an offer of $163,700.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might come back and say, I can't do 163.7, but I can do 169. or just let's just make it a 169, and I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I just padded and gave myself an extra, $1,000 or so. Right.
Okay.
So if you start off at 170, 200, I guarantee you they're going to try to go up in price to 175 or 180. Or you see what I'm saying? So you don't start where you want to be. But regardless, you're not going to talk about this MAO number with your seller.
Okay.
I mean, with your buyer. Excuse me, with your buyer. You're going to talk about it, whatever you find that, plus your fee.
Okay.
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 So get a good handle on these repairs, because I promise I've been in some houses that were nice and they always need work. They always need work. There's always something that can be done. Okay. To make it really pop and make it, maybe it's appliances. Maybe the appliances are 5 years old. Okay. And we got to spend, a couple $1,000s on a new stove and everything else. So there's always something that you're going to have to spend money on.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. I really want to hear some of those Augusta ones too, because this is like this is really like getting down into the minutia of the numbers. Okay. Like we really need to be really solid on what each one of these things represent. So when we present deals to buyers, we know that they're being sold because we were working on real good numbers, or walk away from the deal and we don't, waste the seller's time and our time. We can go and find another deal.
Okay.
Perfect.
I definitely will keep you in the know on that. And then, the locating buyers, although I will go back to the 2 buyers that I initially talked to, and I will make sure that my assignment fee is included, and I will send them an updated numbers. But how do you feel about, see, this is where I hesitate. Until I know I have an interested buyer, I don't even want to put the house under contract.
Why?
Because I don't want to first of all, I don't want to put the seller in a position where it's you know what, it's really just it's a mindset thing, and I know that's what it is. I don't want to get stuck in a situation where I have an assignable contract and I don't have a buyer that can take this property off my hands, and I'm sticking a seller.
What you're setting yourself up for is to get used, because you cannot bring a deal. Do not bring this deal to any buyer unless you have a contract, or I guarantee you they will, especially if they don't know you, will go behind your back and take that deal from you because you don't have a contract. I've had this happen to me in my face. Buyer here, owner here, and this is when I was brand new. Me right here, it's all 3 of us. We're talking with each other. I'm looking at it. The buyer looks at me dead in my face and says, "Well, you don't even have a contract. I can just talk right with the seller right now." And luckily, because I had established a good rapport with the seller, that he didn't allow that to happen. You can't do this. You can't send them an assignment contract for $172,500 or $700 and not have a purchase and sales agreement, because you don't know if the seller is going to allow you to sell it for $170,200, so you can even add your $2,500. And if you use the contract that we have in the course, it says right at the bottom. This is why it's so important that we understand how to position ourselves, right? So when I walk through this contract with my seller, I tell them at the bottom, it says, "Listen, I have 30 days to." Matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you. Where is my? Hold on.
Was it to inspect the property, or to for your partner to? No, 30 days to inspect the property. Is that what it is?
No.
And to be clear, let me just say this: the 2 buyers that I met but don't know, do not have the physical address to this property.
Okay, good. So, all right, here we go. If buyer does not purchase the property, the buyer is you. All right. If the buyer does not purchase the property or acquire an end buyer to assign this deal within, I normally put 30 days of acceptance of this option agreement, this agreement becomes null and void, which means this contract means absolutely nothing. Okay. But from an ethical standpoint, we should not get we should not put anything under contract unless we feel that we can actually move it.
Exactly.
So you won't be able to move it if you don't have it at the right price. And so a lot of people are so just happy to try to get anything under contract that they would put something under contract for $182,700 and then not be able to move it.
Right.
Right. So this is why it's so important that you explain it to when we talk about, as you get more and more into the course, you'll kind of, this will just be like, you'll kind of understand a lot more where we're coming from. But when I'm talking to my seller, I'm telling, listen, you know, I got 3 options. I can purchase this thing myself, do a fix and flip, and, you know, put it back on the market. I can do a light rehab and then rent it out. Or what I like to do a lot of times is sometimes I'll partner with other investors. And when I do that, those other investors pay me a fee, unlike a real estate agent where it comes out your end. Either way, you're going to get your money that we agree upon. Okay. So does it matter whether or not your $170,000 comes out of my pocket or someone else's, as long as you get your $170,000? They're going to say, of course, no. What if you just told them that you didn't? You tell them that you're going to wholesale it. Okay. In so many words. So when you're upfront with them about this, there's no, you know, you're not misleading them. You're not lying to them. None of that is happening. So you will have a clear conscience, and you will know that, listen, the reason why I need to be at this price is because I need to put $10,000 into it. Here's why. Okay. And when my buyers are coming, they're paying for closing costs. You don't have to worry about any of that. Anything that we have to deal with, maybe getting some stuff out of the house, we're going to take care of all of that. So this is why we're at this price. If we're not at this price, honestly, I might just not be the right buyer for you. And I'm comfortable walking away from that deal saying I'm not the best buyer for you, because I know my intention is to give them as much money as I can possibly give them to make the deal make sense for all parties, not just for them, not just for me, not just for my buyer, but for everybody. If it doesn't make sense for everybody, it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Got it?
That sounds, yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for the question. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to get through these other questions a little bit faster. I know I get into this, man. I love answering these questions. Admin, where you at? We have multiple admins. So which admin is this?
This Kamar, man.
Kamar, what's up, man?
Not much, brother. Real quick, you gave us a free skip tracing before that was really helpful. Because I'm trying white pages, and there's this other one that you gave me. It had like a purple background, and I lost some momentum on it and haven't used it in a couple months, and I can't find it again.
Is it True People Search?
I'm not sure. I'll try it.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
No problem, brother. Anybody else? I don't think I see anybody else's hands.
I got a quick one if everybody else is done.
What's that?
Got a house I found online. I did an RBM campaign with it, and it hit a lady who had a lien on her property. I didn't know what the lien was, but I got something to hit back. There was a lien on the property. I got a call from her. Kind of panicked because it was the first campaign, so I wasn't near I was actually chasing my daughter at the time the call came through. So I tried to run and get everything together, couldn't get it. Ended up calling the lady back, talking to her, and from the lady's understanding, she has no issues, no problems whatsoever with the property. So I bounced off the tax records and off the information off the assessor site, and turns out she does have a lien on the property with somebody else's name apparently on it. So I'm trying to get in touch with the lady to kind of let her know. It's less about, at this point, trying to make anything happen, but at the same time, build rapport and kind of make sure the lady knows that she does have a lien on the house. But I'm not too sure how to have that conversation with her, because clearly nobody's told her that somebody's got a lien on her house and she's not aware of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The conversation is really simple. And what again? Admin Ramona, you're absolutely right. It's been verified. Been verified is the skip tracing service. Thank you, Ramona. Um, what I was saying. So letting them know this is not really your job, right? So you just need to let them know that there's a possibility. And so the way you go about this is that during the course of you negotiating, do you know how much the lien is?
Yeah, so I think it's $13,000 or $14,000 total. It's 12,000 something without the percentages added to it, of course.
Okay. So 13. Let's just call it 14,000 bucks. So if you know a dollar amount, you can go ahead and either one of two things. If you know that's what the liens are, that is a good bargaining chip for getting a lower price, and then adding those liens into your numbers. Does that make sense? So for example, if you were going to be able to pay her, $40,000 for the property, but now there's $14,000 worth of liens. Listen, we can't even do anything with this property because there's $14,000 worth of liens, right? So, Ali, I mean, as much as I like to do it, like, we got to take care of the liens. Do you have $14,000 that you can pay those liens off with? They're going to be like, no. All right. I might be able to take care of the liens for you. Now, mind you, you were prepared to be able to offer 40 if she didn't have liens, or you didn't have liens in this particular scenario that we're role playing here. All right, Arlie. I can take care of the liens. I know you don't have the money to do it, but I'll pay for the $14,000 worth of liens, and we can get this thing wrapped up, probably close in about 7 to 10 days. But because of that, man, there's no way around it. Those liens got to get paid off. So the best I could probably do is somewhere around 24. Yeah, I could do 24. It'd be a stretch, like 4, maybe 24.5. I think I could probably do as a stretch, and we can wrap this thing up. Does that work for you? Right. And so I'm just hedging myself against that, because certain liens, what you can do, especially depending on if they're tax liens are, certain counties will allow you to negotiate the tax liens. Okay. Daryl, who's not on the call here, he learned that the hard way. He would have made about, he still got a nice payday. It was like, I think 10.5 off of it, but he would have made like 22 something, 20, maybe more than almost 25 actually, because they could have negotiated. Actually, they did negotiate on the back end, the tax liens. So liens are, I don't want to say it's a good thing because obviously they have liens, but they're a nice bargaining chip that you can use to get your price down, right? It was from 40. I was going to give him 40, and now we're talking about 24 or 5, right? And we're taking off, a couple $1,000s in liens. So at 14,000, it should go from 40 to 26, right? But we're going to add in a little bit of hedge, and we make a little bit of extra money on that end for the hassle of having to deal with that.
Right.
That makes sense? Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. So I left her a message once letting her know there might be a tax lien on the house. So I'll just continue to follow up then when I have a conversation with her. We'll see.
Yeah. So if it's a tax lien, I would go ahead and start researching that counties and see if they do negotiate their tax liens, because they might.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll check that out. Thanks, bro.
Yep. All right. Yuseff, you had your hand up, I believe, right?
Yeah, I did, man. I was just going to ask you a question about something you said earlier about real estate agents. I know you're an agent, right?
Yep.
Now, if you weren't, though, I mean, do you see any value, or have you in the past built relationships with real estate agents that may be exceptional? Like, would it be worth giving them 3% on some of those buyers that they bring you if they can do it consistently?
Oh, I'm always for paper for performance. Okay. So if someone can provide exceptional, not just work ethic and hustle, and they're providing, like someone like Francis, right? That works with with Max. That dude's phenomenal, man. He busts his butt, right? Like, and I see the behind the scenes of what he does. Mm-hmm. So finding someone like that is a gold mine, right? It's an absolute gold mine. So if you can find someone like that, yeah, bring them on the team. I have no problem with paying for people that are actually providing value, right? But if I'm doing all the heavy lifting, if I'm doing all the work, you know, I'm at a point where I could find my own buyer. I don't need them to find a buyer, right? So if that's the case, then, you know, why am I giving you 3% out of my cut when I could do it myself? You know, this doesn't make any sense. But if they're going to be someone that's going to be an integral part of my team, and we're going to work on this thing together, and I can see a long-lasting relationship where we can, you know, do some future business, then I'm all for that.
Yeah, I've got a guy like that, man, I've been working with, and he's done 2 deals for me so far. And he had like 160 something closings last year, just him alone. And I know he sold some deals to Dedrick and I think Max, maybe that team over there. But he's going to be my Francis, man, because we talk almost every day, and he's a beast, man. And he's bilingual. So yeah, you need to definitely. That's a really good like plug. You need to make that relationship, man, and make that work. And if he's going to hustle, another thing with like a lot of real estate agents, man, most real estate agents, I think the average nationwide is they get like 1 sale during the course of their first year on average, right? Most real estate agents, they get their license. They think that it's just going to be easy. They think that, you know, it's just a cakewalk and deals are just going to fall into their lap. And they don't realize that they have to market like crazy, especially in the beginning. And so most of them are just lazy, man. They don't work. So, but yeah, if you got one that's working, then cool. Make that thing happen. Thanks, bro.
Yep. Once again, man, excellent job on the call, man. Excellent job on the call, for sure. Mindset is everything in this business. If you don't have the right mindset, guaranteed to fail. If you don't have the mindset to be open enough to accept criticism, you're going to fail. If you don't have the mindset to go out there and obviously work hard, you're going to fail. So being able, that's why I love the Q&A, even though our coaching calls are supposed to be an hour, it's been an hour and 44 minutes, going on an hour and 45 minutes. And for you guys that are here on the call, I appreciate that. And I see that you guys are here for a reason. You want to learn. So I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. I want to make sure that you get your stuff answered, because I want you to have success. I want you to grow. You have to do this for whatever your reasons are, whatever Yuseff, like Yuseff was talking about, your why, whatever that is. You got to get it. You got to do it. Like, there's no option for you. After an hour and 45 minutes of being on a call, that tells me there's no option for you, right? You have to do this. So let's make this thing work, man. Let's not play around. So I want to set a goal for everybody before we get off the call. We're going to wrap this thing up because I have another business call here in a couple of minutes. I did this last time, and I think Logan is one of the few people that really followed through, and that boy is now, Logan's not on here because he's at a real estate convention right now. But I don't know if you guys know, Logan got like 8 deals under contract right now. And I think Logan started in like June, I think is when he came on board, right? May, June, sometime around that time.
I sent you one too, man.
Huh?
I sent you one too.
Yep, you did. My bad. I'm sorry, Yuseff. My bad, brother. You're getting all hurt over there. But listen, to this week, we are going to do whatever it takes. We're going to do whatever it takes to put ourselves on 3 appointments. I just need you guys to get on 3 appointments. Okay? Whatever it takes, 3 appointments. All right? 3 appointments. That's it. Just 1, 2, 3. Just a quick little 3. All right? Quick little 3 appointments. I don't even care. I'm going to even make it easier for you. I don't even care if you call for sale by owners, because the whole point of this exercise, I'll just be honest with you, the whole point of this exercise is not to make you a whole bunch of money. If you do, great. The whole point of this exercise is to break you out of your comfort zone. If you're on the phone with people that have property that are looking to sell it, and I want you to go sit down with them and practice some of the things that we talk about in the course. I need you to get 3 appointments. I need you to get 3 appointments. I need you to look yourself, and matter of fact, I need you to look your family in your eyes. I need you to look your kids in their eyes, your husband or your wife in their eyes, and say, you're worth 3 appointments this week. This week, not next week, this week, you're worth 3 appointments. I guarantee you start doing this, 3 appointments this week, it turns into 3 appointments next week. It turns into 3 appointments then the following week. And guess what? One day you're going to look up, you're going to come on this call and you're like, you know what? I got a deal under contract. And I say, good, and go do it again. And you're going to do some more 3 appointments. And you say that one I got in the contract, it fell through. It didn't close. Oh my gosh. But guess what? I've been on another 10 appointments and I got 2 more houses under contract, and we're going to closing in another 10 days. I promise you, if you put in the work, it happens. If you put in the work, it's going to happen. We have to be consistent with it though. Don't come back on this call if you don't have 3 appointments. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. I'm just be real with you. You're wasting your money. You might as well just go do something else because we're not being serious. I need 3 appointments from you guys. Okay. All right. So this week, you didn't know this. You didn't know this was happening. Everybody just unknowingly signed up to get 3 appointments. So that's what's going on. So we're going to find out who did that next Sunday. Next Sunday. Okay. Uh-oh, that's right. Back to school. It's all right. Make it happen. Make it happen. It's all right. Back to school. We experienced back to school August 1st here in where I'm at. So let's get it. All right, family. Once again, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here on the call, man. Thank you so much for thugging it out for an hour, almost 50 minutes. You guys are the best. Let's make this thing happen. Let's go make some money. All right. Peace.